Hello and good morning. So we're making a start, and I said welcome to the launch of Productivity Awareness Week 2020 under the theme Building Resilience Through Collective Action, Reset, Rethink, Innovate. And before we move into anything else, we want to bless this occasion. Last night, I listened to the Prime Minister and the CMO, and I think there's reason to pray, and there's reason to say thank you and allow for us to be blessed. And we call on Mr. Kentus Eugene to bless this ceremony. So I invite you to stand as he comes forward to the podium.
Let's just assume a posture of prayer. Thank you, dear God, for traveling mercies. Thank you for life. Thank you for opening our eyes to realize the importance of being productive as citizens of St. Lucia. Dear God, as a nation, we look around and we see the ant, and they are so very productive in how they go about doing their business. So we ask that you would give us this same productive spirit, dear God. We also know, dear Father, that we could have all the big dreams and all the big ideas, but if we are living sluggish lives, it will mean nothing. So we pray that you will give us the ability to change our mindsets and be more productive individuals. We also pray for the Productivity Council. They have many big ideas and many big dreams. I would like to believe thousands of them for this week. So we ask that you would give them success in whatever they do. Watch over the proceeding this week, we pray, and govern our thoughts and everything that we do so that it might be successful. But may we also do it with a cheerful disposition and a sensitive spirit. Let us be, as a nation, implementers, dear God, and believers, and not just a nation with big ideas. And guide us, and everything that will be done and said here will be successful. We pray in your mighty name. Amen.
Thank you very much. I think you felt that prayer. This feels very much nationalistic, as it should be. And so we have a young man who's going to come and do a rendition for us of the national anthem. We invite Mr. Shazi Deriviere to play the national anthem for us. Thank you for that. Thank you, Shazi. Please have your seat. Please be seated. So let me establish the protocol. Let me welcome Honorable Alan Chasney, Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Ms. Esther Rigobert, Permanent Secretary in the Department of Finance and Director of Finance, all the Permanent Secretaries and Heads of Departments, Chairman and Council Members of the NCPC, Mrs. Fiona Hinkson, Director of the NCPC, staff of the NCPC, the hard-working Planning Committee for Productivity Awareness Week, management and staff of NTN, specially invited guests, members of the media, special performers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. Let me again say thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. This is a lot of hard work to put this week together, particularly with observing protocols and the COVID-19 protocols. And we're happy to see that so many persons are interested in productivity and being productive. We call onto the stage Mrs. Esther Rigobert, who will do for us the welcome remarks. Let's welcome a hardworking PS.
Good morning, everyone. I think I only heard a few persons. Good morning, everyone. I am here to welcome you, so it's important that I know you feel welcome, and I can only know by your response. Protocol being established by our dear Master of Ceremony, I'd like to adopt the same protocol. On behalf of the Department of Finance and the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 7th observance of Productivity Awareness Week. I'd like to especially recognize the Honorable Alan Chasney. I think fortune was on our side this year, despite COVID. I think he has missed a few of, if not all, because the very time we're having productivity awareness, he's at annual IMF World Bank meetings. So we are very happy you're here today to join us in the celebration. Today marks an important journey that started in 2014, where a decision was taken to put the torchlight on productivity matters in the form of an entire week of activities geared towards bringing about greater awareness. The past 7 years have seen a plethora of themes and activities. Today, we continue this journey, cognizant of the landscape we now operate in. Certainly, this year has presented a myriad of challenges and limitations, and even enhanced expectations that did not exist in prior years. This year started as a typical year, January 1st, when everyone made New Year's resolutions. But by the end of February, the global situation had changed remarkably. We are now faced with an unprecedented global pandemic, COVID-19. COVID-19 is by far the most far-reaching crisis that we have faced in the history of our nation, and may I dare say the entire world has faced this current century. Notwithstanding the challenges brought on by this pandemic, we remain steadfast with an eye for opportunities even despite the crisis. We are even more resolute, more determined to push forward with the regulatory, legislative, and administrative reforms that will lead to enhanced productivity, growth, and competitiveness within our economy. Productivity is about effective and efficient use of all resources, of whether it be a business, organization, or a country. Resources include people, time, knowledge, infrastructure, information, finance, equipment, just to name a few. The higher the productivity of a country, the higher the standard of living that it can afford to its citizens, and the more options available to improve the well-being of all its citizens. Well-being can be as a form of, it can take the form of increased and better infrastructure, better healthcare, better quality education, better social protection, improved transportation system, and even enhanced environmental standards. It must be noted that economic growth, sustainable development, and resilience building for our country cannot be sustained without improvements in productivity. We all at the Department of Finance, and particularly the unit is a small unit manned by a powerful woman, Fiona Hinkson, recognize the mammoth task set out before us, especially with COVID-19. We have entered now what we call the post-COVID-19 recovery phase. It's post not because COVID is over, but we have better understood, we have a better handle of how to manage the crisis. At a time like this, we understand the importance of having a week dedicated to productivity issues, not just for us, but all solutions. Our theme for this year's event, Building Resilience Through Collective Action, Reset, Rethink, Innovate. What an appropriate theme. This is a call to each of us, every single one in this room, and all those listening online, to reset, rethink, and innovate. It's a call to all public sector and private sector entities, to the business community, to government and key stakeholders, to policymakers, to civil society, every single man and woman, every boy and girl within our country to reset, rethink, and innovate. We as St. Lucians need to come together to build a stronger and more resilient country. Thank you all for joining us today, those of you in this physical location and all of you virtually. We wish you an enjoyable proceeding, not just an enjoyable one, but a meaningful one, and most importantly, a very productive Productivity Awareness Week. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the proceedings.
Thank you very much, PS. You know, Karate Kid was wipe on, wipe off, so I'm doing mask on, mask off, right through. The Prime Minister is here with us for the first time, Productivity Awareness Week, and it's so important for his presence because every time I listen to the Prime Minister, I think he cannot say 5 lines without hearing him say productivity. We must increase productivity. And it's so integral to everything that we do. And let me welcome him to the podium to give us some brief remarks. Prime Minister Honorable Alan Shastney.
Good morning, everyone. With protocol being established, I know the first person that is getting nervous is the persons that have prepared my speech, and they've seen me come up empty-handed. But unfortunately, that seems to be a recurrent theme. Today, I choose not to bring my notes because I think that in Jimmy Cliff's famous song, "Action Speaks Louder Than Words," that the program of activities for this week speaks for the new era that we're in. We're talking about 2 o'clock, a panel discussion, all eggs in one basket. Is St. Lucia over-resilient or reliant on tourism? And how can we diversify our economic basket? A video feature tonight, customer service as a productivity tool for the public service. Tuesday, a panel discussion, the education system, gaps, weaknesses, opportunities during the post-COVID-19. Video presentation, the digital currency and cashless transactions, pluses and minuses for economic resilience. Wednesday, research symposium, building economic and social resilience through digital transformation. Research symposium at 2 o'clock, a financial inclusive approach to enhancing credit in St. Lucia. On Thursday, a panel discussion, teleworking policy to boost national productivity and economic growth. The new normal, a paradigm shift for work during the post-COVID-19. Panel discussion, infrastructure resilience in St. Lucia disaster risk financing strategy. How prepared is St. Lucia? And Friday, panel discussion, opportunities in the digital economy, innovating, building resilience, creating opportunities, new long-term jobs, and a video presentation, steps in setting up an online business. These themes are new. I think that if we would come to these meetings in previous times, we would be having a very different discussion. The era of COVID has forced us to rethink. We have no choice. In fact, many of us stopped working, our businesses stopped, and there was a period in which we were forced to pause and to rethink what we were doing. Those persons who found themselves at home, many people in the tourism industry, persons in small businesses depending on services and being a service provider, must have even gone deeper than that to ask themselves, what next? Because the idea of envisioning how the world was going to recover and what it was going to look like clearly has to be daunting. I think for sure it's beyond a lot of our own capacities. I was having a discussion with a friend of mine, an elderly gentleman, and I said, boy, it seems that time has passed us. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, we used to have to think in 1D, and then we had to think in 2D. And I think for many of us, when we had to start thinking in 3D, it started becoming more complicated. But today we have to think in 4D and 5D, because everything is so co-interrelated and everything is working counterintuitive to what we would normally do in these circumstances. But in the midst of it, we can still use terms like green shoots. So last week, Microsoft announced that all of its employees that currently are working at home will never come back to the office space. Imagine that. Every employee that's currently working at home for Microsoft because of COVID, we're told that they will not be coming back to the office. They're still going to have their job. Now, while some persons may sit here and try to absorb that, my mind immediately went opportunity. Why? Because the global job workforce is becoming borderless. It means the need to be in San Francisco or in Seattle or in Texas to work for Microsoft, no longer a requirement. In fact, you can work from anywhere once you have an internet connection. So how many other businesses are going to follow suit? How many new jobs that were not available to St. Lucians now become available? Ojo Labs, that during this shutdown period, maintained operations by having persons work from home. And what did they find out? That people actually were more productive. So even now, with the ability to reopen their office space, they're using their office space simply for training. Bringing their staff in, retraining them, sending them back home. And all of the new employees are doing training sessions at the building in Vieux Fort, but now are working from anywhere in St. Lucia. And so they've now broadened their net of additional persons that they're going to be working for. How many back of the office jobs in major industries in the world all of a sudden become available to St. Lucians? You then put that on top of this concept that has been coming out of working remotely. And when we think of working remotely, we've been thinking of high-end individuals who now realize they don't have to live in a city and they can actually run their business virtually from somewhere else in the world. And certainly looking to improve the quality of their own life, want to go away from living in a big city and working somewhere else. And all of a sudden, the work that we've been doing as a country on offshore financial services in particular, our new Headquarters Act, our CIP program, all of a sudden those pieces now start coming together in which we're creating the environment in which persons can work remotely from St. Lucia. It's not simply getting a visa-free access to your country, because once a person lives in your country for more than 180 days, what happens to their tax liability? So our CIP program, our Headquarters Act, our soon-to-be-announced residency program deals with the longer-term idea of persons and companies as well, working remotely. The same things that we saw pre-COVID, in which there clearly was a disconnect between the Ministry of Education and the businesses. And that, are we training persons sufficiently to be employed in the areas of employment? On Friday night, I was at a restaurant, and a very good friend of mine, I say he's a good friend of mine, we share very different political ideologies, not here domestically, but internationally. And we got into one of our typical, very heated discussions. And his complaint is that we don't train people enough. I said, yes, but the issue is, are we making people productive enough? And we spoke about the tourism industry. And he's not a big believer that the tourism industry can generate jobs that people can build careers on. But I indicated to him, it's about productivity. In Europe, the hotel on average employs 1/2 of a person per room. Here in the Caribbean, 3 people per room. Imagine if we were to get to 1/2 a person per room. That means that you would be able to increase the wage of that person who's working. And the question is, what's prohibiting persons in the Caribbean from being as productive? Some people bring it to the idea that we have all-inclusive hotels and we're providing more services, so naturally there's going to be more people. But there's a big difference between 1/2 a person per room and 3 people per room. And there's a lot of an opportunity for improvement. So my government is continuously pushing ourselves to figure out why some of these basic common sense things are not happening fast enough. I know that Fiona and I and the chairman of the Productivity Council have spent many an hour. My poor secretary who's running my schedule always dreads the days that they come in because the meetings always go much longer than they're supposed to go. And I'm passionate about the Productivity Council. But I'm also passionate about process. And certainly having the Productivity Council in the Ministry of Finance, I'm not a big fan for. I want to see the Productivity Council be independent. I want to see the Productivity Council to be an entity that civil society and individuals have confidence in. And I believe it has to be an entity that's doing research and providing information that's credible, that's believable. Because half of the battle that we have in this country is all the doubt that we continue to infest into the system. We all second-guess numbers and second-guess what our intentions are, and we waste so much energy by simply not having confidence in the information that's being presented to us. So an independent means independently funded Productivity Council, in my humble opinion, is critical, and it's certainly something that I'm going to continue to push and aspire for. And you know, recently we've had interaction with civil society. It's not intended to be a political jest, but the Bar Association. Has anybody ever asked themselves, what is the secretariat of the Bar Association? Nothing. That the key associations we have, the Chamber of Commerce, the Tourism Hotel and Tourism Authority, Employers Federation, none of them are employing enough people. So we talk about having communication with government. It's people to people. There has to be somebody physically there and with the capability. How many lawyers does civil society have hired full-time to interact with the Attorney General's office? How many economists, how many specialists are representing civil society that are allowing them to interact and bring a different business perspective to the development of policy in this country? And we can't keep waiting for bills to get to the House to all of a sudden believe that that's where that interaction is supposed to take place. And I have continuously said, and have asked the civil society associations collectively, identify a tax. We'll impose the tax and allow that money to go in to fund the hiring of those individuals. But we're not going to achieve our full potential until we do have that level of collaboration. Unlike what is being said that the government does not want to listen, we do want to listen. But we're also cognizant of the time and the need to do. And right now, our country, like many of the other small island developing states, are facing a crisis of the proportions that we have never seen before. The fact is, the global economic architecture and one thing, per capita GDP, as a measurement of the wealth of a country, is still being used. Even though mathematically, the average of the income in our countries multiplied by the population tells you in absolute terms the wealth is not there. We are arguing, and I've recently coined a term called catastrophic debt. What's catastrophic debt? Catastrophic debt is the fallout on our economies after the financial crisis. Nothing to do with how we managed our economy, simply the mismanagement of derivatives and greed, global greed in the world. But there was no package to come and rescue us when the Icelandic banks went bankrupt and all their assets were turned over to receivers. There was no empathy on St. Lucia or the other developing countries of the world. People came to collect what was duly theirs. We are currently facing probably the greatest challenge that we have, because that global economic architecture, that evidence has been provided on a regular basis as to why it needs to change. Simply the OECD changing the idea that per capita GDP and going to a vulnerability index that was created since 1989. And all of the empirical evidence, all of the examples are there for them to have changed, and they have not changed. So the reality is, even with COVID and with the fallout of COVID, I'm not that optimistic to believe that they're going to change. And certainly the statement by one of the senior officials of the World Bank last week in rebutting Prime Minister Motley's argument about debt forgiveness made it very clear that that's not going to happen. So it means that we have to continue to run our country on very antiquated measurements that are going to be very unforgiving to us. And so we don't have time. Last night, I indicated to the population of this country that it would appear that we're going to have an outbreak of COVID. Certainly all the evidence of the case suggests that we are going to have a community spread. The reality is, whether it is or not, what we have to do in terms of greater enforcement would have to happen anyway. Anybody who can even come up with the idea in their head that we don't have COVID in St. Lucia, knowing what is taking place globally, honestly, it's a lost argument. We know that there's COVID in Martinique and there's COVID in other parts of the country, and it just takes somebody coming in illegally. We've done a great job on those persons that are coming in through the borders in a managed way, and we've certainly been able to minimize the risk significantly. But coming in illegally is always going to be a threat. And as I said last night, a 12-year-old kid swam between Martinique and St. Lucia. That's true. Tells you how close it is. That's the point. And it's a large border to be able to control. And when persons can put past the nation's wealth and the nation's well-being and simply think of themselves, and unfortunately, that is human nature. Not for me to condemn or to question, that is what humans have shown to be. So how does that relate back to this conversation today? Productivity is a key component in making ourselves viable. And we need to wake up to the fact that it is that competitiveness globally that's going to allow us to succeed. There's no empathy, there is no sorrow, there's no such thing as good friends that are going to come to our aid. It is something that we're going to have to do ourselves. And productivity starts at micro level, in your office space, even in your home. Are you generating the greatest output with the resources you have. And resources are not just money. And so why wouldn't it be the interest of every government to want to see its people as productive as possible? Because that's going to add to the wealth of our country. The wealth of our country is what's required to generate the necessary resources to pay for our social services. Healthcare, education, infrastructure, sporting activities, all are important. Healthcare in this country has been underfinanced forever. In fact, we owe, as a population, an apology to the doctors and the nurses and the persons who've had to work at Victoria Hospital, who've been put in the unenviable position of knowing they don't have enough resources to do what they have to do. And we in the Ministry of Finance and other government agencies, clearly conscious of how much monies we have and allocate the monies to these ministries, knowing that they can't do it. But somebody has to make the decision. For years, we have allocated $1.5 million, I believe it is, towards the maintenance of schools. 144 schools. 8,000 EC dollars a year for maintenance of a school. Just think of your own household. Think of having a school with 500 students going through it every day. When I went to the Mondador School that was built in 1982, $8,000 EC a year. But we go to sleep at night thinking it's okay. I'm here to say to you that COVID now has created a new alarm bell, a new sense of urgency that we're going to have to react to. And that reaction is that we're going to have what I call evidence-based decisions. And it's going to force us to make some changes that we have been refusing to make for a long time. The evidence is there. We are not generating enough tax revenue on a good day to cover the cost of government. It's the reality. And what we are generating in revenues and what we're spending in government is insufficient. And so how do you solve that problem? Productivity. The same individuals with the same resources are going to have to find a way to increase their output. That's what productivity is. And there's no secret. It's not that anybody hates St. Lucia or hates St. Lucians. Every country is facing the same thing. And I keep trying to encourage the population of this country to apply their energies to areas in which we could make a difference. So I really want to applaud Fiona and her team. You've been doing an outstanding job for a very long time. And if there ever is an entity that is going to assist us in leading us out of this is your organization. And it's certainly my intention to make sure that we give you as much support as we possibly can, but also that we give you the credibility and the independence that you need so that we spend less time wasting time arguing as to whether the information is right or wrong. I have no doubt that the evidence, the empirical evidence that's presented in front of us requires a significant change. COVID is creating a phenomenal opportunity for us of becoming a borderless country. The idea of creating an e-government platform like what Estonia did is to become a borderless country and to start getting our young persons to understand what we're talking about. Our young persons in the orange economy, writing a song for Kaiso, for politics locally is applauded and necessary, and I embrace it, but it's that same talent that must be writing songs internationally, like what Bob Marley did, that has created timeless music. We know it can happen. The Dennery segment have created a new sound right here from St. Lucia, and it's to build on it and to create lyrics and exposure to allow that music to earn money. And the YouTube and many different entities, Navitaire, all provide platforms to allow those individuals to register and copyright their information and for it to be sold on a global basis, which is in keeping with the brand of tourism, which creates exposure for us. And then all of the other products that we have reinforcing that brand identity for St. Lucia. It's not complicated, but it requires a tremendous amount of discipline. So again, I want to thank all of you for being here today. I want to applaud the Productivity Council and all of the private sector associations that are involved in it, and to again reinforce in everyone's mind that my government remains absolutely committed to the development of the Productivity Council. And this is certainly a porthole that we're looking at to really take St. Lucia out of the quagmire that we're currently in. All of the citizens of our country deserve that, and that's who we're fighting for every day. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. I think he really embodied the theme for Productivity Awareness Week, asking us to do it together and to build resilience. But we must reset, we must rethink, and we must innovate. Coming up next on our program, we have Drinia Frederick has directed a production for the NCPC, which encapsulates the entire week, taking into consideration the activities that have been mentioned by the Prime Minister. And we invite you to view that presentation. It is called DigiGrow. It's about a farmer who has lost his market during the COVID-19 pandemic and has to figure out how to be productive and turns to the internet and the digital economy. So allow me to welcome the production of DigiGrow. So we will just change the configuration on stage a little bit, and we will start off.
Recorded the new case of COVID-19. This individual was a 27-year-old male visitor who arrived in St. Lucia.
Once we saw the
Sunday,
beginning of a
September
spread,
6,
we took stringent measures.
Tonight's other major headlines, the coronavirus hitting a new milestone. More than 16 million cases worldwide.
And now to the latest on the coronavirus. The United States is reporting the highest number of deaths in a single day, nearly 1,500. CDC Director Robert Redfield said.
Tout bas moi ici. Ok. Bonjour, bonjour.
Hey, step back.
What?
Wear your mask.
Hey. I forget about that mask thing. My mask inside up there. Let me check.
Look, you're holding up the line, right? On the side. Next.
I have the mask. See, I just let me. As if that nothing. You know what? Let me go. It's not long.
Step back.
No, not long.
Step back.
That's a. Me you doing that?
You cannot go inside like that.
Me you doing that secure? I'm not staying there long. I just want to come and do something. That's how you remember me. You remember me? Not you guys, Mumun and them people from down the road.
I just doing my job.
Just
alright?
doing your
No
job.
mask, no entry. Next person.
Say security sir ka kotwaye mo odiaga. Say man I have that mask.
Ferguson, what's going on inside of there? What's happening down there?
Because I'm sick of my fashion. That man not getting me vexed there, you know. Come and tell me story about mask. What in fair business, you think it's mask that on my mind?
Made that telling you about mask? That's not Mumun and them cousin that living down the road by you?
Imam killer.
You know what? Don't worry about me, Ferguson.
I know I had the mask.
My brother, you're doing a good job. If they don't have mask, make them stay outside.
Put on your mask.
Oh, sorry about that. Fergus, I have a little extra one there, you know. My daughter making masks to sell. I have about 41, one for each tishimizi. So how things going if you don't look into her right at all?
That's things are good at all. By movie, things rough.
Hey, do that on the side. You holding up the line.
Because I fear by
ignore me. Because you telling me things not good? I saw the last time that I was in the living.
You remember the last time you saw me?
Yeah.
That was Independence time, I think so.
Oh yes.
Things was good, you know. My produce was selling.
Yeah, man, you were selling to hotels like Big Gardens and them.
Yeah, Starfish and them.
You
know, things was booming. Business was nice. Because ever since COVID hit, hotels closed down. Nothing are coming in, you know. And before COVID, I go and buy the property. Remember the property they were selling at Millet side?
Oh, you don't buy that?
Me that buy the property, guys.
Okay,
I buy the property. I buy a new tractor. I hire about 10 fellas to come and work for me, you know.
Under the COVID?
Under the COVID.
Well, you really spend
a lot of money. That's why in the state I is there now.
Why?
And to top all of that off, Angelina go and take how much? Let me see.
Gasa, come. Meeting all sorts, we.
Angelina go and take how much thing by cuts, you know?
Yeah.
Cuts kakuye mwe too late you. Block their number, they text me. Change my number, they finding it. I even change my service provider, and they're still there.
Gasa is they don't have cell phone, you know. It's like if you go left, they're going left. If you swing right, they're going right, you know. I shall say cuts is goalkeepers, you know.
Gasa. In here by cafe, you buy flat screen la.
The 45-inch?
45-inch.
That's 10 grand, you know, you finish.
We finish. She have that show watching HGTV. I buy like it, love it.
Yes, on HGTV.
HGTV, yeah.
Gasa, let me that's their tricks, you know. The ladies these days, they have the small TV, but they don't want that. They go in and buy a 45-inch. And then they put in it at the end of the living room to say they're social distancing. And you see that HGTV? Move that on your cable. I'm giving them ideas, my friend.
How I'm moving it, man.
We'll discuss that.
Okay.
But let me tell you, I was in my office. That's a Vinny. That's security in everybody's house. Last week, I'm in my office. And I'm chilling. One of the workers just opened the office. He don't knock nothing.
Office killer?
I self more jump. Now you know I vexed already, eh? I said, get back to work.
D'accord.
The man don't even take me on. He had a black sack in his hand.
What he bring for you?
He brought shame and misery, Ferguson. He go down in the sack. He take an empty tin of needle. He slam it on the table. I heard a needle ring. Pling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. You know, he go back down in the sack.
Kisa?
He take an empty box of cornflakes. He slammed the cornflakes on the table. I heard the cornflakes ring pling-a-ling-a-ling. You ever heard cardboard box do pling-a-ling?
Cardboard?
And Ferguson, that's not all you know. He go back down in the... He go back down in the sack and take an empty box of Pampers. When he slammed the box of Pampers, I heard baby do... I just run and just close the office door. And things just mashed me up there. I didn't want the other workers to see that. Now, you know, before COVID, I was doing well.
You was doing good, I remember that.
Selling to big hotels. Sundance, Royalton.
Viceroy,
Viceroy. Things going well.
Remember.
But as COVID reached, things just mashed me up. My son on the cruise ship, he wants a ticket. But the cruise ship stopped in Asia. The boy wants a ticket from Asia to London. From London to Barbados. From Barbados to Viewfort. And the next ticket from Viewfort to Castries. And you know that's a lot of money there.
That's a lot of money you have to spend there.
Now I have my other son, the one that's making me proud. You understand?
Sakno yoko Mafayos.
C'est pas Mafayos, huh?
Sakno.
Say Mafayos. You have to say it right. Say Mafayos.
Mafayos.
Well, you know he's studying overseas. They tell them they have to go back to their country to finish their studies. You understand? So right about now that he want me to send some money up for him because he say he's not coming back. He's staying up there.
He's staying there. He's not coming back.
4,000 Canadian. And you know what the boy studying? Halifax.
Where?
Halifax. You understand? He's studying business administration.
He's doing
I
smart
go
boy.
and take some cash there to see if I can send for him.
To send for him?
Yeah.
I self go and see if they could give me a little suku loan there because we're waiting, but the way things are there.
Don't say that too loud. Huh? Bossman, organize me there, please.
Must because.
Put on your mask.
It's really rough. You're eating wire.
In your
Go fan, go fan.
You ready spraying that roughy water, the Clorox?
Both hands.
Gasa!
How you operating that Zoom? Hey, Mafios! No, I can see you, but I cannot hear you, huh? You can hear me? Just now, it's saying audio muted. Roof! Just now, my boy, don't talk your time out. I'm not hearing you. Roof, hurry up. I'm talking to your brother. I'm not hearing your brother. The thing is telling me audio muted. How you moving the thing? They mute it.
Daddy, you have it on mute.
How you moving it?
Okay, so you see the little speaker?
The little speaker?
Yeah, press it.
Ah, right.
Nothing else. What are you saying? Hey, Dad, we have to talk about that thing next week.
Roof, you they call?
Daddy is saying?
Go and do something constructive. I'm talking to your brother. You come in. This is not you they call.
But I have nothing to do.
Find something to do. Figure it out. Yes, my boy. I see the sign behind you saying Halifax. They give a joke for the three of us. Sakila, congregation. Find something to do with yourself, Roof. I'm talking to your brother. It's important. Go. Find something to do with yourself. Yes, my boy. I cannot really send the money for you yet, you know. Because the hotel's just things are a little bit of, of a... Roof, Ebe, come and have a seat.
Daddy.
Come on. You want to be in the call?
No, I feel I know what you're talking about.
Of course you know because it's you they call.
Oh, okay, Mafias, help me out. We say you have all the fruits and vegetables there just spoiling. So, thinking how we can get that to work for us. Maybe you can put it online,
You know, as you said that there, last week I'm in town, I met a fella from NCPC. He gave me a little leaflet. It said, reset, rethink, and innovate. Now, he tell me I can put my stuff online for free, but I have a lot of fruits and vegetables there. I don't know how that can fit online. Online don't have space for that,
No, Daddy, not like that. I mean, you take a picture of it like in the box and thing, right? And then you post it on social media and Instagram and stuff, and you send it out and you tell them, where they can meet you to get it. That kind of thing.
And he even told me about something called a curbside pickup.
Yes.
You can put the fruits in the box, people pay for it online, and they pick it up on the curb. No corona.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes. So I had an idea and everything too, I want to call my business DigiGrow.
Nice.
Yeah, man, we deliver into Babono, Viewfort, Castries, and all them kind of things can happen, but I need somebody that can assist me with that,
Now I no longer working at China City, so, I was doing my little sales thing there. I can help you with the sales.
Yeah.
And all you're missing now is just somebody to do a social media for you.
Social media. We need somebody that's young, that know about social media and that kind of stuff. Who you know that can help me with that?
Kayla.
Kayla? You see when you say their name sounding young, so she sound like she know what she about. You can ask Kayla to come in.
Kayla's a boy.
Kayla's a boy?
Yeah.
But 2020 really have surprises. Sit back, I say unisex way. Anyways, set up a little meeting with me and Kayla.
Okay, I'll call
and organize it for me.
No problem.
Wow, in 2020 you calling your child Kayla, that's a problem, way. Facebook. I want me see page my PS. Decline. Me that have 300 friends on Facebook, they're like that. That social media thing is very powerful.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Oh, you that's Ruth friend. Fiona.
It's Kayla.
Oh, okay, all right. My brother, how you doing? Everything good? You already know, no corona. All right. Ruth tell me that you're very good with social media. And I have a business selling fruits and vegetables. I want to put my stuff online.
Okay.
So how can I go about doing that?
Well, you see,
we're gonna have to set up your social media, you know?
Yeah.
Your Instagram, your Facebook, and we're gonna have to get your website.
Yeah, that's something like what it's about. I like that. So how long you think that will take to happen?
Well, I'd say give or take about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes.
2 weeks sounds nice, you know. So, Hedat, my business is fruits and vegetables. I want to call it DigiGrow.
DigiGrow.
That's what it is. DigiGrow. I want to see if I can send them stuff online and deliver, do curbside pickup, them kind of things. So, and I have a little office at the back there. I say, well, maybe you can come and work for me in the the little office there.
In an office?
Yeah.
No, I'll be working from home.
Working from home?
Yes, from home.
So how am I going to know when you clock in and clock out?
Don't worry about that. I mean, that's where the world's going now. You know, everything.
Technology.
Yeah, technology, virtual. You know.
All right. Before you go, one more question. You're not from St. Lucia?
Oh yes. I mean, I've been here since I came back around when I was 5 from Texas.
When you was 5, you came to St. Lucia?
Yes.
And your accent strong like Hulk Hogan like that? Yes, yeah. Well, we'll see in the next 2 weeks.
All right, we'll see.
Have a good day, Fiona.
It's Kayla.
Have a blessed day, Fiona. DigiGrow, the new and exciting way to get your produce online.
Wow. Good morning.
Hey, hi, Mr. Ferguson. How are you?
Morning.
Welcome to DigiGrow.
I'm okay.
Come. Let me just spray.
How you doing?
I'm there. I'm good. You know.
Good.
See what Daddy's been working on. Yeah, it's a big organization now.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
We're even exporting. Yeah, we did social media. This is Kayla. Kayla is doing our social media.
Your father there?
Daddy, Mr. Ferguson is there for you.
Jacob.
Focus, look at it, focus.
Monsieur.
Look it.
Jacob, vous faites bien.
Marble floors.
You do well.
Welcome to DigiGrow.
Wow.
Let me tell you, focus. Right about now that we're moving differently, you know. I met a man in Castries about a couple months ago, and he gave me a little leaflet from NCPC. It said, reset, rethink, and innovate. That just changed the way I'm thinking, you know.
So that's what you did?
Yes, you know, as the hotel slowed down and things, so I started to sell my stuff online. I'm delivering to Babono, delivering to Castries, all kind of things. Things are going good. As a matter of fact, I'm even diversifying. Because I have byproducts on the way, you know.
So what you buying now?
No, you're not buying it. We have soap flavored, like fruit flavored soaps. We have mango, cherry, sour soap. It's better to have things come in. You know, we used to have all our eggs in one basket. And I think that the time for that thing to stop. I used to be in the banana industry, you know.
I remember that.
And that just take a nosedive.
Yeah, with the black sticker token, right?
Exactly. That can never happen to me again. So right about now there, I make my daughter hire a little fella there. His name is Kayla.
I see all the young people
social
looking
media
for you
and
there.
that kind of stuff. Everything happening online. That's what it is. So how things going by you?
Yes, sir. If I tell you, things are kind of over there for you. I can tell. You know the bank called me. They want to take the house and them here already. I know what to do. Nothing not coming in.
You know,
nothing,
as you said that there was a
coincidence.
I was thinking about you last week. You know?
Me?
Yeah.
What you think about?
I know you have the grand provision market on lock.
Yeah, man, my yam.
You have the best dashing, the best
yam.
yam. I say, you know, we can form a partnership.
Of course, partnership, yeah.
I already done see your byproduct, you know.
Tell me what you see.
Just imagine dashing shampoo and living conditioner.
Why living?
It's not living nothing, it's just fortifying your follicle.
Yeah.
It's making it the roots strong,
and
you understand?
The dashing the yam.
Yes. And I say I can do the fruits and vegetables and you can just do the ground provision.
So we could work together.
We forming a partnership.
I could work here.
Well, when I say partnership, we're not 50-50, but you're still a partner regardless.
But I still work
You can work right where you work in.
That ain't nothing.
As a matter of fact, You can start on Monday.
On Monday?
On Monday you
Monday
start.
not come in there?
Welcome to DigiGrow, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
Hello, no corona, you know already.
Sorry.
Exciting way to get your produce online. Fruits, vegetables, ground provisions, organic soaps, organic shampoos, and leave-in conditioners. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and at www.dggrow.com. Reset, rethink, innovate. DigiGrow 758.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a bigger round of applause for this group. And we call them back on, and the director, Junior Frederick, could you come forward to take a bow? And your crew. Let's welcome Junior Frederick, director, script writer. So we really wanted to be innovative with our launch, and we hope that you got the message. Thank you very much. And we're moving along. We actually have another very innovative performance, and a young man who has been doing fantastic. Oh no, before we call on him, we will call on our director, Fiona Hinkson. And she will actually, I know the Prime Minister has stolen some of the thunder on what she wanted to say, but we call her up to tell us exactly what is happening for the week and how we could all be involved. Let's call on Fiona Hinkson, Ms. Fiona Hinkson, to the podium. I think she's shorter than me, so let me help her.
Good morning, everyone. I will adopt the protocol that has been established. And yes, the Prime Minister did mention some of the activities we have for the week. But just to say, as the National Competitiveness and Productivity Unit began the process of preparing for Productivity Awareness Week, it caused us to pause for a brief moment and wondered whether our country would have been receptive to this week, given the onslaught that COVID-19 was doing to our economy and to our everyday lives. Coming out of the work that we did recently in partnership with a multi-sectoral committee to put together an economic recovery and resilience plan, we realized we need to more than ever continue this dialogue and address the issues and challenges that have caused us to remain vulnerable with regards to our economic base, our fiscal situation, employment, our skills mismatches, and our ability to respond to both natural and other type of disasters. We need to take stock and start breaking down the barriers that we face as a country regarding the size of our economy. We need to challenge the status quo. Why can't we do it better and more efficient? Let us take a proactive approach and expand our reform agenda and do what we deem uncomfortable. And most important of all, we need to take risk and try innovative ideas and explore the opportunities in the digital economy. COVID-19 has gotten many of us out of our comfort zone. Not only were we forced to use the technology to work from home, but we were very productive in doing so based on the results of a survey that we conducted recently. All of those issues and more will be addressed, discussed, and deliberated upon during this week under our theme, Building Resilience for Collective Action, Reset, Rethink, and Innovate. The planning team for Productivity Awareness Week has put together a menu of activities for the week, a truly collaborative effort. The team members came from the departments of Education, the Public Service, Finance, Economic Development, and Office of the Prime Minister. Due to social distancing protocols, a few persons were invited to be here physically. However, we'll be live on NTN, the NCPC Facebook and YouTube pages. So I will be going very quickly through the week. For today, day one, we start off with the official launch. And this afternoon, we followed through with a panel discussion entitled, All Eggs in One Basket. Is St. Lucia over-reliant on tourism? How can we diversify our economy, our economic basket? Later in the evening at 8 p.m. on NTN and also via our Facebook page, we'll be airing a video feature, Customer Service as a Productivity Tool for the Public Service. Day two, Tuesday, 13th October, we'll be discussing our education system, examining gaps, challenges, and opportunities during and post-COVID. This will be in the form of a panel discussion starting at 10 a.m. At 8 p.m. in the evening, we will have a video feature entitled The Digital Currency and Cashless Transactions, Pluses and Minuses for Economic Resilience. All of our video features will be on NTN and via our Facebook pages. Day three, Wednesday, October 14th, is our annual research symposium. This is the third symposium, so it's now our annual research symposium being hosted under the sub-theme, Building Economic and Social Resilience Through Digital Transformation. This is a full-day event and starts at 9 a.m. I will also address many different topics, including a financially inclusive approach to enhancing credit in St. Lucia. Day 4, Thursday, October 15, there will be two panel discussions. The first panel will be held at 10 a.m. and will discuss teleworking policy to boost national productivity and economic growth. It will examine the new normal, the paradigm shift for working during and post-COVID-19. During that panel discussion, the results of the recently held survey on telework via GOSL notices will be discussed. The second panel will be held at 2 p.m. and the discussion will center on infrastructural resilience and St. Lucia disaster risk financing. How prepared is St. Lucia? Day 5, the final day of the week, from 10 a.m. will be a panel discussion on the opportunities that exist in the digital economy, innovating, building resilience, and identify the new long-term jobs. In the evening at 8 p.m. will be our final video feature, Steps in Setting Up an Online Business. This is a feature especially for our SMEs. I'm hoping that they will all tune in during that time. Finally, we invite you to participate as much as you can in the various events. Those who are invited to be here physically and the other persons can visit the NTN, our Facebook and YouTube pages. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hinkson. Mrs. Hinkson. We do have, I said, this is about innovative activities for the week, productive activities, and we went all the way into the beautiful countryside of Barbano, and everybody knows how I like mentioning Barbano. And this young man has been really blazing up the Facebook pages, the social media pages, and he's here to perform for you. Some of you may not have seen him before, but when you hear him, you will search for him on his page, Shazzy Music. So we call on Mr. Shazzy Deriviere, who will grace us with rendition of very innovative work that he's been doing. Let's welcome him. Now, I know we could do better than that. This was only about 6 minutes, Shazzy, but how many songs did you hear? I mean, this is really innovative. He never stopped. He switched songs, and it was a flow. So, big round of applause to him again. Thank you. Young gentleman, he's on social media. Check him out. He's doing great things. And what better way to bring us together? This is about us working together in order to be productive. And as the theme says, building resilience through collective action. Reset, rethink, and innovate. This brings us actually to the official end of the launch of Productivity Awareness Week. And we thank you very much for being here. We have some refreshments for you outside. We still have something else. No, Stanza. Where is Stanza Deligny? Stanza, I almost forgot your vote of thanks. I was ending. Stanza, you didn't say anything. It was the mask. And if you didn't realize who she is, our ad that is running, you will see this beautiful long-haired lady on it, and it's Stanza Deligny. Stanza, welcome. Let us give the official vote of thanks for Productivity Awareness Week. Invite Stanza to the podium. And she's also a member of the planning committee for the last 2 years.
Hi, a pleasant good morning to everybody. Hi. First of all, I would like to thank Shazzy again for that beautiful creative rendition. It really does showcase the power of what you can achieve with productivity and now social media. So thank you again, Shazzy. Productivity Awareness Week 2020 is being held against the backdrop of the most challenging health and economic crisis affecting not only St. Lucia, but the entire world. The COVID-19 pandemic has evaporated many of the gains made to boost economic growth. But it, however, bolstered our resolve as a nation to build resilience through collective action. We are called to reset the way we operate, rethink our processes, and continuously innovate for greater productivity and competitiveness. To succeed in this endeavor, we must embrace a mindset that continuously strives for excellence, which incidentally is the mantra of the NCPC. I am delighted today to thank the many persons who made this week a reality. Prime Minister, Honorable Alan Chastanet, for his consistent encouragement and support. PS Esther Rigobert, you have been our cornerstone, ensuring that the week was realized. Mrs. Fiona Hinkson, the Director of NCPC, for her support and, of course, her strong leadership, driving the force behind Productivity Awareness Week. Chair and Council members of the NCPC for their support and leadership. The Planning Committee of Productivity Awareness Week, chaired by Mr. Glenn Simon. Thank you, Glenn. This week would not have been possible without you. Ms. Jana Louis Ferdinand and Ms. Cheryl Roseman, coordinating the teleworking discussion. Mr. Vina Matre, coordinating the research symposium. Mr. Kentus Eugene and Stanza Deligny, well, myself, coordinating the discussion on the digital economy. Kentus, thanks also for praying for us. Mrs. Linda Malzer and Richard Maxwell, coordinating the discussion on the education sector. Ms. Alice Providence, coordinating the discussion on the infrastructure resilience and disaster risk financing strategy. Special thanks to Ms. Shama Matre, who coordinated the surveys. Ms. Olivia Henry for the setup and administration support. Ms. Lana LaForce for logistics of this event. Ms. Marina Siraj for her much-needed administrative support throughout the years. Ms. Drinia Frederick, my past teacher, the Director, Events and Production of the Cultural Development Foundation, and the cast members for their wonderful production, which captured the essence of the theme for Productivity Awareness Week. Mr. Linton Clovis and the IT department of the Financial Administrative Center. Mikhail, we really are thankful and grateful for you. Every year you really do pull through. Our service providers, Showmax Designs, Cheryl's Catering, Fantastic Cuisine. Special thanks goes out to Ms. Davina Lee and the NTN team for providing live coverage for the entire week. The Department of Economic Development and the Public Service Modernization Unit team. Truly grateful for your invaluable love and support. Mr. Richmond Felix and Roger Lawrence for technical support. Thanks to all our patrons and all moderators for the week, all the panelists and everybody who took part in this event. Thank you to the media for providing coverage of all of this and all of our events. It truly is a blessing to have these pertinent discussions discussed live, giving us the opportunity to relay the message to who it really was meant for. St. Lucians, citizens who may be able to actually benefit from it, especially given the current situation. And thank you for being such a wonderful audience. Do enjoy and participate in Productivity Awareness Week 2020. Remember, you can join the discussion on NTN, Facebook, and YouTube on both the government's website and their Facebook pages. Please, I thank you.
Stanza is somebody, when you call on her, she does not say no. Stanza, thank you very much for doing the vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, I said it before, so I'll repeat it. This brings us to the end of our ceremony, and we invite you to some refreshments with us and to join us for all the activities, as many of it that you can in person. Well, if you are invited because of the social distancing for it, but take it in social media. NCPC at Facebook, St. Lucia NCPC on Facebook and YouTube, and Government of St. Lucia, YouTube and Facebook, and NTN. We're trying our best to put it on as many platforms as possible so that somebody would be able to view and benefit. Thank you for your attendance, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to make a difference.
Through research and innovation, we can transform our country,
improve the lives of all St. Lucians, and give our fair Helen the competitive advantage.
Research calls us to investigate, study, and reach new conclusions,
which allows us to innovate, to create new methods, ideas, products, and technology.
For more information, follow and like us on Facebook at St. Lucia NCPC, the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council, embracing excellence.